All right, everyone. Welcome back, everyone, to the Arena of Ideas podcast. It's your podcast. I'm simply the host, of course. And anyway, I'm just so glad to be back in the microphone again. This is the 51st episode of this podcast. All right. Bittersweet reality and regrets is this episode. I have many other topics of discussion and things that I could put in front of me. But guess what? This one just kind of popped in my head. It just kind of came to me in a moment and came to fruition. I'll explain it here in a moment. So, the views and opinions expressed in this and all Arena of Ideas podcasts episodes are that of the host and guests, not to be taken out of context and misrepresented by any means. Throwing that disclaimer out there immediately. All right, so now I'm going to get into the reason why I'm doing this episode over other ones. Because it was a Sunday afternoon, a Sunday morning actually. I'm listening to music, getting up, getting ready to go. And these two songs played back to back. Bittersweet Symphony by The Verve. And again, I can't play the songs themselves. I can't. I'm not allowed to. Because that's royalty music, and I'm not allowed to. Everything you hear on here is royalty free completely. You have, I can't do it. My sound effects are royalty free. My songs are royalty free and all that good stuff. I can't do it. But anyway, Bittersweet Symphony by The Verve and Alanis Morissette's song Ironic. These two songs played back to back on a Sunday morning. And then this just clicked in my head and it just came to fruition. So basically, again, episode 51, Bittersweet Reality and Regrets. Okay, so, because it's a bittersweet symphony that's life, trying to make ends meet, trying to find somebody, then you die. I'll take you down the only road I've been down. I can't change my mold. It's just sex, violence, melody, and silence that make trying to make ends meet, and you're a slave to the money, then you die. Again, that's the synopsis of the song, Bittersweet Symphony. Again, it's a 90s song by the band called The Verve. And then the next song is, of course, Ironic by Alanis Morissette. Again, check these tunes out. See what you think. I can't play them. I can't play them here. I mean, I played them on the walk-up before I started this episode. But anyway, okay. All right. Well, life has a funny way of sneaking up on you when you think everything is okay. A traffic jam when you're already late. That sucks. No smoking sign on your cigarette break. 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife. It's meeting a man of your dreams and his beautiful wife. It's like rain on your wedding day. It's a free ride when you've already paid. It's the good advice you just didn't take. Life is a funny way of sneaking up on you the next day. Let's see, life is a sneaky way of, basically anyway, if you've done these crazy things and things like that. Let's see, an old man turned 98, won the lottery, died the next day, and so on. Just take the word ironic and replace it with regretful. Then just know that not making a decision is still having one. And really, like I said, those two songs played in my head and it went off like a trip hammer. In my head, I sat down and just started writing this episode. Just boom, motivated me. Okay, so anyway. All right, so the one that got away, the one you walked away from, the movie Click, Adam Sandler. Basically, in the movie, the premise of the movie is the fact that you can fast forward your life, or you can bring back your, rewind your life, or fast forward your life and go through life and all these other things. Sometimes you can't do that in life, though, like what we have to go through, right? Adam Sandler movie, Click. Not all of us can do that. So sometimes, the things we regret in life can be can be the, things that can tear us down, tear us apart. It can really, cause ulcers and really stir things up in your life. All right. So the one that got away, the one that walked away from. In life, we do not have a universal remote, right? To become a metaphorical Band-Aid, an eraser, a fixer of all life's woes and issues, problems, and wrongdoings that we want back to have a do-over, if you will, a mulligan, a redo. Like in social media, when you don't like the imperfect photo you took in a moment of rage, anger, weakness, or just plain narcissism, insecurity, doubt, and remorse, you bring it down and spend the rest of your life chasing perfection, which will never be good enough. Others will applaud, thumbs up, heart, and call it awesome, whatever it might come out to be. Yet you won't accept the outcome. In the same ilk in life, you can forgive and forget in your personal journey of self-reflection and bittersweet reality and regrets, like in this episode. Giving yourself a get out of personal jail card, kind of locking yourself up and everything else. A lot of people comes down to questioning things, and sometimes you have to go with the gut instinct that you have about something, no matter what it might be. All right, so yes, Monopoly is a game. So is this so-called life that we all must live with a fork in the road. It's a room with multiple doors. Let's see. So basically, it's not really a fork in the road. It's a room with multiple doors of many colors beyond the horizon of dreams. Open one, another appears, telling you haven't found closure of what's needing to be done. And only you know the answer to that question, right? Exactly. I'm not trying to sound like a great philosopher, a seer, a psychologist, or a know-it-all. I'm trying not to be. I'm just saying that every day you always go through a decision or a question or maybe even a regret or something else in your life. Everybody goes through these things. That's like every minute in your life, how many ideas go through your head, such as this podcast, right? Exactly. Each day, we all have these situations running through your head. Why I have this situation? See, and it's also why I have this podcast, right? Either speaking to yourself in your head or out loud, which I'm guilty of all the time, right? LOL. Exactly. Everyone does this stuff. You're thinking things through, and you think things through so intently. Next thing you know, you're speaking them out loud. Well, there's a song by Ed Sheeran called Thinking Out Loud. Well, this is speaking out loud. Okay. Excuse me. Claiming it's the voices in my head. Example, so to speak. Well, newsflash. Self-awareness, accountability, responsibility, confidence, among other traits, inspire us all to work on what this episode is all about, right? Exactly. If along the way, insecurity, doubt, remorse, fear, self-loathing, and other negative thoughts seep into your mind of what's going on, sometimes it is. Sometimes things just kind of sit there and you've got situations and problems, and you're just trying to figure out a way of getting through that process, right? Exactly. So look within, the help of family and friends, professional help, or whatever you're comfortable with, accepting the outcome. Many times I will go with my gut instinct. That little voice inside you tells you this is right or wrong. Your experience and upbringing of right and wrong, or a lack of these skills, will play itself out as will whatever you're going through, and then going through will reach closure. Yeah, like I said, you're new to this life, you're new to what's going on and everything else. Well, you know what? It's going to play a big part in the way in which you succeed or you fail. And when you fail, it's a learning experience. Take it as a learning experience, whoever you are out there, and myself, and try to think of the positives and what's going to really get you motivated and going when it comes to that process. All right. So, and you'll have to face the result, however the chips fall, right? Okay. So I'm sorry. It's the chips fall where they may, in quotes. Okay. There is a Snickers commercial where this shady looking biker type person with a tattoo gun. I did an episode called Tattoo, Canvas or Curse. Excuse me. I did. And that was an interesting episode. But anyway, this shady looking biker guy is sitting there and, he's got a tattoo gun, right? And, it was supposed to say regret as in, on his arm, but basically on the shoulder of this young girl. Well, due to the fact of being hungry, of course, the Snickers commercial is about being hungry or hangry, right? Actually put regret instead, which is a pun within a pun, basically. Due to the outcome, so basically, boom, right? And kind of fits in with that ironic song, so to speak, by Alanis Morissette, of course. All right. So anyway, the axiom paradigm to all this about a bedlam and hotbed to dive right in and face your fear without a net. Basically face everything you're dealing with. And then as more experience and everything else you come upon, it's going to help you in this process, right? The premise of this episode is basically all those things, right? To face your fear and everything. The influences is when I was listening to those two songs popping up, playing back to back on a Sunday morning. I believe life was sending me a sign while I was perplexed about what to do for my 51st episode. It really was. Because I had Randy from Pueblo. He knows who he is. Randy goes, "Oh, we got to 50 and everything. We kind of were catching up and everything." And then he goes, "Well, what's next? What's the next episode?" Because, it's never really the one you're doing. It's what's your next feat, your next situation, whatever you're going to be getting into. That's the next important thing, right? So what was I going to do for my 51st episode? A few friends and listeners were celebrating the great and amazing accomplishment of finally reaching to my second goal, embarking on the podcast. First was 25, then 50, 75, and 100. I'm now halfway there. I can't believe it. And again, thanks to Angelo, he gave me a statistic. It's been rattling around in my head and it hasn't stopped since. 40% of all people that start a podcast fail after about 5 episodes because they don't have structure, they don't have a process, they don't have things that are assisting them along the way of getting this, this here situation complete. All right. So again, thanks to Angelo. Props and also Angelo, he got props from Remember the Legends segment on Genghis Khan. His words remain a measuring stick as follows, and I just told you that part. All right. So then, and I told you about Randy. All right. Well, you're listening to proof of what's next, thanks to many who smile, telling me to keep going. There's a bunch of people that are out there that tell me to keep going, and they keep doing this. It's important. It's vital. Some episodes are very, everything's an awareness exercise, but basically, sometimes they're self-reflective, sometimes they're humorous, and sometimes they're very important details about important topics of discussion that need to get out there. So and people are just telling me, keep going, Mike, keep going, and that's what I'm doing. All right, so back to this episode. Another way I process regret is a great example. When I ran leagues and played in fantasy football, man, talk about replace regret with fantasy football, man, because you're either the victor or you're the second loser, basically in any one game or even a season. There's a show called The League that's on FXX. Watch that if you get a chance. That's a great show. So basically, the 3 words of regret you encounter was, this is to me, woulda, coulda, shoulda. If I would have played a player, if I could have played a player, I should have played a player. I would have started, could have started, should have started this player. And have managers of your team's outcome because you didn't play that player, you basically lost. So you're going, damn, what would I do? But then again, if you think about it and you go back to it again, you would have played it the way you played it, right? Exactly. I mean, you would have done that anyway. All right, so basically, so as in all things in life, becomes a love-hate relationship with fantasy. Name the sport leagues, because there's fantasy sports and everything, but it doesn't matter. I mean, the basic thing is, in life, when you get to that fork in the road and things, you just question. What should I do? Should I do this? Or you just step forward, and instead of going to the left or the right of the fork, you just go right to the middle, you power through. All right, so much tongue-in-cheek sarcasm. I named a league, woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's kind of a funny, humorous, sarcastic way of looking at it with a funny perspective instead of a worry perspective. And a lot of the leagues and things like that, like everything else, is sports betting, and people put money on the line. So when you have that money on the line, man, it's like you either think, okay, well, I'm just going to go with what I got, be confident, self-confident, or what am I going to do? So anyway, I named the league called Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda, right? Laugh out loud. Regrets. Have 4 core categories: the foundation, boldness regrets, moral regrets, and connections. All fall into one or all of the ones listed above. After a small break and some bumper music, I'm going to visit those 4 topics right there, those 4 main ones right there. We're going to revisit that. So here we go. All right. So anyway, like a pizza, we can't eat it in one bite. So what I'm going to do is break this up. Again, this is episode 51 of the Arena of Ideas podcast, Bittersweet Reality and Regrets. We'll be right back. All right, we're back. Thank you very much for standing by and listening to a little bit of music there. A little bit of bumper music, if you will. Okay, so basically I did mention the 4, and I was, wanting to look into, some of the... I always do my research and everything else when it comes to all topics and all episodes, right? Angles, let's see. So angles of this topic being covered for them in different phases and times of having life between views and types of regret we all endure, right? Foundation regret. Education, finance, and health regrets are expressions of the same type of regrets. Our failure to be responsible, conscientious, or prudent. Our lives require levels of stability. Yet even everyone makes individual choices will undermine these things. Such as when you're young in life and you go through and make some choices and things like that, and it screws up, it goes down, it doesn't work out for you. You're like going, man, I wish I would have changed that. Right? Exactly. So, who doesn't overspend and undersave out of a routine and unhealthy habits become many people's pitfalls. So, what decisions changed to the future of your expectations, life, and so basically of your expectations, regret follows. Boldness regrets. This This one happens to everyone at different phases of life. Over time, we are much more likely to regret the change risks we didn't take over the ones we did. FOMO, fear of missing out. What haunts us is our inaction itself, meaning our choosing not to do something, or you know the right answer and you still gave a wrong one, or whatever's going on. It's that moment that you sit there and you're going, man, I should have done this. Should have done it. Moral regret. Most want to be good people, yet face choices that tempt us to take the easy way out. When you behave poorly or compromise your beliefs in what's good, regret can pile up. Now, mind you, you might want to also factor in who you're with, who you're hanging out in that situation, who's with you in that process, meaning that you might think and know that answer, know what you're going to do, but then because you're with somebody and there's situations with that person, it might be that process where, you know what? Even though you know the answer or whatever else, maybe to not hurt someone's feelings, maybe you jump in and you're not going to do it, or you choose not to. You could have done it, or you could have overstepped your bounds with somebody, and next thing you know, this goes to bleep, right? Goes to crap. All right, so connection regrets. Actions give lives Actions give lives direction. Other people give those lives purpose. Humans tend to break down, and regrets stem from failure to recognize and honor this principle. Note for you. Decisions are a very important turning point and is the center hub to decipher this code for regret and remorse, right? It's really regrets, but it's regret and remorse, because if you don't make a proper decision, or if you choose not to choose at all, and then you're just like bummed, you're like going, man, I should have done that. It's kind of remorse, because now you're feeling those feelings of remorse and regret over the process. Okay, so basically, there's amazing ways to survive, right? You look forward. Downward, let's see. You look forward, right? Move forward. End of the day, no matter what happens, you also have a way to overcome the result. You do. You have a way to take corrective action, to step in, see what could have happened, and then also, be that person to go through and just suck it up, take a deep breath, and just get it done. That's everybody. People also regret not taking action over ones that do 2 to 1, meaning pondering the boldness regrets, fear of missing out, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Should have done this, would have done this, could have done this, right? We really eat up alive and consume valuable resources, especially sleep, sanity, and security. You can be insecure about doubting even the simplest of decisions, again, based upon your experience level, or whatever else is going on, could definitely make be a huge factor when it comes to you making those decisions in life. All right. Note, 60% of people have this most common career regret, right? Not asking for raises, not balancing life and jobs, staying at a job too long. Seems easy enough, yet many overlook comfort of routine, or the risk of failure and / quitting. All right, so let's break this up, and we'll pause this moment, dog-ear the page here for a moment. But anyway, you out there, everyone listening, everyone a part of this process, where do you see yourself with this situation? What regrets and things, kind of think over in your own head, think of some of the things that you've gone on, and maybe you never even thought about it like this. You just thought in your head, you thought you had these certain things and decisions you had to make and weren't really sure what to do with them. Well, everybody out there, guess what? We all do. Everyone has these. Okay, so chart of most regrettable to least overview. situations here. And this is like regrets, again, regrets and remorse in life, so to speak. Both of them kind of going hand in hand. Education, 32%. Career, 22%. Romance, 15%. Again, these are all regrets and remorse. Parenting, 10%. Self, 5%. Leisure, 3%. Finance, 2%. Family, health, friends, spirituality, and community. Kind of all just following the line. All right. Excuse me. The opportunity principle. Opportunity breeds regret. Leads to dissatisfaction and disappointment. Risk reward always has winners and losers. Every time you take a chance, you step off the curb to cross the street. Anything else that happens in this life, we're all a part of that process, right? We are. I think so. It brings out many good and bad qualities from every age, demographic, culture, social background, and financial status, all of which can build quite a large amount of regret. Some you can and can't live with depending upon the person's perspective, motivation, about outlook, and it applies to each person differently. Again, how old are you? Are you through 1 through 18? Are you through 19 through 30? So on. These different graphics and these different age groups and things will play a big part, because as you get older, like I'm in my 50s, late 50s, it's going to play a different part for me, because I've gone through and seen so many things. And if you're new and you're young in this life, you're going to go through these same things. It's just you're at a different place in your life. You're at a different chapter of basically at the different places on the road, if you will. All right. End of the day, everyone wants to be successful, live a full life. Say if they went back, would have done the same thing all over again, right? Everyone wishes that. But does everyone? And we're talking, many things will pop up on a daily basis. Did you conquer all those? Did you get them all done? Right? Didn't waste valuable time on my own, of my own or others. Regret never being a part of the process, right? Everyone creates their own opportunity and luck. That's my view on it. Everyone creates their own opportunity and luck. Excuse me. A blessed life, to me, sounds like the old adage, the grass is always greener on the other side, right? Yeah, like you don't regret it, you just know it's there. Yes, it's possible to have these situations happen and admit to it in today's world, yet a lot of people wouldn't admit to it. Let's say you made a bad decision or whatever else. A lot of people wouldn't say anything. They would just put it back in their memory bank and go and move on, right? Yet with regret being this monster consuming so many parts of your lifetime goals and aspirations, your lifetime goals and aspirations seem to wonder this outcome, right? Basically what's happening. So would you agree everyone has sections to life? Youth to 18, 30 and 40s to 60, golden years. And with each area has different things that are regrets and regrettable, right? The next part is to show those based upon where you are in life, male and female, to drive how regret is perceived. That's how I look at it. Like I said, it's different phases in your life, things you're going through. You may not even realize you're even doing this. You're out there going, man, I just started questioning everything. I just started, looking at everything and just started looking at this entire process, and I didn't think of it this way. So here we go. Basically, I kind of broke this into little brackets here and dealing with a few things. So I looked at a few articles and found the biggest regrets was taking for granted your youth, doing more in the way of experience, fun, family, friends, etc. How did you spend your time? Did you use every minute? Did you go out and have a bunch of fun experiences and stuff? Or did you just kind of sit back and just go, where did my life go? Where did my youth go? What happened? It seemed like I was on autopilot and just went away. Just was done, right? Engaging more in applying self to school, hobbies, friends, and interests, reflecting on time passing quickly, and wanting to grow up. Sometimes when you're young, you want to get to whatever your golden birthday is, whatever your date is for your birthday. You want to get through school. You want to get to your sweet 16, your 16th birthday. You want to get to 21. You want to do all these things. Well, you want to grow up, and you're tired of being a kid. You want to be respected and honored and all this other stuff. Well, as you do all those things, you're just wanting to fly through everything. And some people do that. They just try to get to these big landmarks in your life, if you will. And sometimes that affects just how you do spend your time. Do you regret going back, I should have done more when I was younger? Reflecting on time passing quickly and wanting to grow up, right? And reach youth high points instead of just letting everything, letting everything come like birthdays, driving, working, graduating, etc. Blink and it all flies by, but ultimately you can't get any of it back. And listening to these immortal words, to just go out and enjoy the moment, have fun, and appreciate the company you keep. Hey, these are your friends, and these are all your friends and family, and these are your opportunities given whatever's going on to take advantage of that situation, right? 21 to 40. It seems that regretting the woes of your youth arrives too bad. Now you're in your 20s and reaching a quarter-life crisis. That's a reference to also a song by John Mayer. But anyway, now you're at age 25. You've gone through a quarter of your life. What have you done? Where have you gone? What are your goals going forward? All these things in your head. Everyone has them, right? Many not really establishing and finding their own voice, opinions, persona, still finding out where they belong, won't be able and who with. In life, this changes about 5 to 8 times. So basically, in your life, your jobs are going to change. Your living situation will change. Maybe you're married. Maybe you're not. Maybe you're not serious. Whatever's going on. Everyone has these different things that happen in their lives, right? But everyone goes through them about 5 to 8 times during a lifetime. During a person's life. Friends, status, jobs, places to live, etc. This group experienced this fear of missing out, regret, and remorse, right? FOMO. You're coming of age and solidifying being an adult. So the list is growing quite strong. Today, add in social media, technology, and all the social conscience things, and it's a plate quite full, and that of regrets and remorse always fit in the process of everything. We don't know it. Maybe you don't truly know what it is, but you know it when you see it, or when your experience is going to hit you, right? Exactly. Okay, so 41 to 60. Your regrets start with your now closer to being your grandparents, right? So instead of just growing up and being the kid, and then later in life having kids or whatever you're going to do in life. I mean, look, this is just, life itself and what happens and things I've experienced. All right. So basically you're now being grandparents and some people like that of that age and that ilk, 41 to 60, get off my porch person and not basking in the glow while in youth, right? You're not, twinkle in the eye. You've got your whole life ahead of you. Now you're not spending enough time with loved ones, not taking better care of yourself, not staying in touch with friends, not doing more in the previous age range. Again, these are all regrets and things that people go through given whatever age you are, right? Different age groups. Not staying in touch, so on and so forth. Not doing more in the previous age range, meaning back when I was in the 20s and 40s, whatever, I should have done more there. I could see where things I could have done. And I think regret, really piles on and really affects more when it comes to being older. That's what I think. Not doing more self-education, work, more importance and closure with issues. Travel more. Be more forthright of self and others. really working on goals, checking off bucket lists of things that you wanted to get accomplished in your life, because you're getting down, you're down to the other end of life, basically the other end of the spectrum. I'm kind of in that group because, here I'm in my late 50s and it's, and 60 and beyond type stuff, All right. Okay. All right. At least one regret in my life that I'm not going to have to go through, or remorse, is wondering what I could have done by doing this podcast, right? Because a long time ago, I didn't, Sprecher didn't have this commercial when I was way back when I was, in my teens, 20s or 30s or 40s, right? This has pretty much been a passion of mine. It's been for a couple of years now. And I didn't have that opportunity, but now I do. And I have this chance, and this has just been a great, wonderful opportunity. Let me get back to it. All right. So the golden years, just, and beyond. Living a life to themselves. Not one others thought they should be living, right? Wishing they balanced work and life better, to make time of personal life, better expressing themselves, better not to be so stoic. Basically, instead of just keeping things to yourself, maybe you should have done more, gotten out, been a better, done more things in your life. Better communication with family and friends, more joy and happiness in life. Again, these are all the regrets and remorse, right? Take more risks, chances on things, chasing their dreams. Being and doing more for others, placing a high value on health and well-being, taking better and recording memories and traditions for future generations as keepsakes, meaning instead of just living that life and taking those, photographs and memories and snapshots and all the ways in which you can record videos and all these other things, you're just kind of wondering what you should have done more, right? And as you get older, it does sit heavy, because when you're young, you have your whole life in front of you. When you're older, you just gotta do the most you can do and get the most out of life you can, and with the people you love and friends and everything else, right? Okay, so basically, closing here on this part. Yes, there have been movies, songs, and real-life situations where regrets, remorse become another beast, slave, monster to every walk of life. Both are in everyone's DNA, psyche, reality, moments, life, and age cycle, right? As I stated, the grass is always greener on the other side. Fear of missing out. What if? What if you would have done this? What if you would have done that? Coulda, woulda, shoulda. It's never enough, right? What you think. There has to be a better life somewhere else, right? Man, if I would have just left this town, if I would have just gotten this city limit sign in my rear view, wherever you live, wherever you are in the world, seriously. So instead of opportunity knocks at your door and you answer, right? You answer instead. You're standing in a room with 8 doors, a octagon, if you will, each one numbered with a question mark. What do you do? Which one to choose? They all look the same, each a different outcome. This is not the Twilight Zone, right? This isn't the show The Twilight Zone. It's your life. It's regret, remorse knocking loudly in the pit of your stomach as you must account for your choice and why. Right? Man, those 2 songs came to fruition in my head. And I'm going to put this out there to you out there. If you're listening, and I hope you all are, I hope everyone's listening. I want the world to listen and be a part of the Arena of Ideas experience, right? I do. I totally do. It's a commitment that I myself make as the host and creator of this podcast, and all of you out there, you matter too. And that's why I'm doing this, because it's your podcast. I'm the host, but it's more than that. It's the power that we all have together to come together and every episode, or if it's a conversation, I don't care what's going on, it matters. So now in your head, think in this part about, regret and remorse and everything else in your own life. Where are you? What's going on? maybe you don't think about it like in the terms of me putting this episode out, but you know, in your head, in the pit of your stomach, you know, somewhere you're thinking about it. So I'm going to break to some music, and then we're going to come right back and we're going to complete this episode. But anyway, just know, guys, you're all out there. You all matter. And everything that we talk about here and everything I discuss here is important to me as an awareness exercise in all things. And we just got to kind of come together and kind of have this time. I like to call each episode a segment of the important reality of Arena of Ideas. Okay, so here's what we're going to do is I'm playing this music as you can hear right now. And that's telling you right now that this is the 51st episode of the Arena of Ideas podcast, the bittersweet reality and regrets in life. We'll be right back. All right, thank you for coming right back to the to this 51st episode. Appreciate it. Again, the foundation, the fabric, foundation, and framework of the Arena of Ideas podcast is pretty much my open. And every so often, every couple of episodes, I'm going to kind of do a overview, a synopsis, if you will, of what that is. So, again, you know that the ways in which to listen, there's 29 places to listen. It's basically anywhere and however you can listen to a podcast. If you look at the top of it, however you're listening, you know, there's a little explanation there of my podcast, rants, race, beefs, issues, problems, so on and so forth. Well, at the bottom of that, there is a way in which you can help support my podcast. There's a link down there. And in that link, I've got it set at $3 if you decide that you want to go in and help support my podcast and keep this going and everything else. I'm going to do whatever I have to do in my power to keep this going. I love doing this. I appreciate it, and I appreciate all of you. Again, that's a way to support. So at the bottom, you see I have in big bold letters explaining if you want to help support this podcast, you can do that. There's a link. Click the link. It takes you somewhere. And from that point, you can sit there and you can help subscribe. It basically monthly, $3 a month, no big deal. It's just a way in which for me to keep this going, because it does cost a little bit. The big cost of everything is the fact that I love doing this and everything else. But hey, it's 2024. Life happens. All right. So anyway, this is the experiment so again, this is the fabric, foundation, and framework of the 3 F's of the Arena of Ideas podcast. This is the experiment at the crossroads between content and conversation reinvented. It's a podcast for anything, everything, and all things for everyone. It's a triad of talk, the forum of focus. I am the conduit of content, voice of the people, for the people, and by the people. It's an all-information podcast. If you've got rants, raves, beefs, issues, problems, pet peeves, OCD about anything, scream at the radio, the TV, the sky. Again, I just want everybody to be reminded that this is what we're doing here as a part of this process, right? You know, it's that opening part, and I've changed the format. Thank you, Tim. Tim and Savannah and a few other people are just main key hubs when it comes to, you know, kind of helping produce and kind of helping the process of this podcast. And again, if you guys have comments and ideas and things that you want to talk about, first, you have ideas and things you want to talk about for the podcast, well, guess what? You have my phone number is listed inside. If you go to the information about the podcast, my phone number is in there. Well, I've also got Michael Kingston 723 at Yahoo. I don't have any social media or mania. I've just kind of thrown that to the wayside. The reason being because, it's just not the way I look at life and everything else. And this is a grassroots campaign. I've got business cards I pass out that are about my podcast and everything else. I'm just trying to, self-promote. It's like a grassroots program where I'm doing all this. Anyway, those are ways to get at me. So the phone number, which is there, Michael Kingston 723 at Yahoo. There's 29 places to actually listen. So however and wherever you can listen to a podcast, please by all means follow, subscribe, hit the notifications, all that good stuff. I love it. And then let me throw this in too before we forget. But if you're here for the first time and you're listening to episode 51 out of 51, welcome. I want to thank you for being here. I thank you for giving this an opportunity and me an opportunity to sit there and put this whole thing out and get it going and get some content rolling, having conversations and all great things that is the Arena of Ideas podcast. If you've been here before and you're back again, thank you. I've got people that have been here for the first time, people that have come back again, and I got people that have listened to every single episode and are waiting for the next one hopefully with bated breath and wanting to hear it. But that next one, and it's always kind of like Randy said, right? It's that next one. The next one you're going to have, the next one you're going to do. Because now you've already got these in the books. Now what's next? What's that next chapter? You turn the page, what are you going to see? All right. So anyway, I got all that out there. And again, thank you for everyone. So without further ado, I want to give a plug, prop, and shout out. I always like to do those. I plug businesses. I do shout outs and props for people. Well, this one goes out to a lady or girl named Allie. Allie, you're out there. I know you are. I know you're listening. I hope you listen to this episode about regrets and remorse. She's gone on to bigger and better things in her life, and she's moving on and doing some other good things in her life in other ways and trying to get things done. Well, Allie, in your next chapter, get going what you need to do. Do what you got to do. Do you. But know you're greatly appreciated and you're sorely missed where you were previously. She was, I have know her through I did the episode called Bloodlines, Life from Within. That's about donating plasma and donating blood. Well, there's I've stated in that episode that I do donate plasma and I do this on a weekly basis, helping save lives. And if you listen to that episode, Bloodlines, Life from Within. I don't have the number next to me, but anyway, go back and listen to that episode. But anyway, in this process, I had met Allie through the process of donating. And anyway, she's now moving on to other things such as school and spending more time with her family and doing important things. She's a wonderful, selfless, graceful person. And again, shout out and props to her and what she's going to do, but she's sorely missed in the process of doing what I do as in my donations. So Allie, again, she is also the Allie and the episode. I got to remember this. Okay, so the Are You Needy episode about Maslow's hierarchy of needs is her episode. So she's from Indiana. She's the pride of Indiana by way of Pueblo. Okay, there you go. There's your explanation for her. And we're going to now move on to the other parts, which is the comedy corner, the microphone check, and also the Remember the Legends. Okay, so now on to the comedy corner. All right. So satellites got married. Wedding wasn't much, but the reception was incredible. Try to make a diamond shaped. Let's see. Tried to make a diamond shaped like a duck. It quacked under pressure. Excuse me. Let me get out of the way of the comedy part. Where's the bin? Dad, I haven't been anywhere. Why do bears have rainy coats? Why do they have rainy coats? Excuse me. Why do bears have hairy coats? Excuse me. Why do bears have hairy coats? For protection, of course. All right. That's so much for that. That's the comedy corner. Okay. We'll leave it at that. It's good little humor. It's good little way. Some people say they love the comedy corner part better because it's dad jokes. It's ways in which to have levity and humor in our lives, right? Exactly. Okay, so now it's down to the microphone check, and also remember the legends, right? Kind of covered all the other ground. I went through the fabric foundation and framework. 3 F's, that'll get you in trouble, and maybe speak another F word. Paramore is the microphone check. All right? Okay, that's the sounder for, of course, anyone? I kind of gave it away by saying it, right? But it's okay. Really like this band, the band Paramore. Okay, if you don't know who they are, they're basically a emo alternative type band in the 2000s. I'll go through it here, but anyway, really, really good band. If you get a chance, check out their catalog, check out the process of them and their songs and everything. Just a very talented band. Had songs and soundtracks and everything. All right, so American rock band who for in the middle in 2004 in Franklin, Tennessee. Since 2017, band members and they changed their lineup a lot. Okay, they changed their lineup to a whole different bunch of people, but there are mainstay people I'm going to list. That's a laundry list of a lot of people. So basically, they were formed in 2004 in Franklin, Tennessee. Since 2017, band members, lead vocals Haley Williams, what a talent, lead guitar Taylor York, and Zafaro are the mainstays. They have reinvented themselves a few times. Since starting, have had so many amazing chart-topping anthems and way ahead of their time. Introspective and personal masterpieces, in my opinion. Starting in their teens, members kept coming and going. No real continuity, yet the core, as I aforementioned, have remained strong. In 2007, the album Riot, boom, just hit the scene, bam, came out, propelling them to stardom. Called the album Riot, meaning a sudden outburst of uncontrolled emotion, right? I mean, completely. Suits their highs and lows to a T, and really a mantra for the band. 4 monster jams come from Riot, a 2 times platinum album. That's why that's what you get. My favorite song by them, Crush, 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 Hallelujah, and the top song, Misery Business. All are great, catchy, and you'll be tapping your toes, your fingers, or who knows what you're doing. Anyway, my personal favorite song is That's What You Get. 6 studio albums, a great catalog you need to check out. Haley Williams is amazing on vocals. With such influence, even has a song Decode that made the Twilight soundtrack. If you don't know, Twilight's about a series of books that were written about vampires. Check it out. But anyway, they hit it so big in the 2000s that they had the opportunity to get on that soundtrack as well. All right. Let's see. In the 2000s, they have really done amazing things, right? You can't write the history of music without the influential band Paramore. You can't. You can't do that. I've said it before. Okay? All right, so that is the microphone check, covering that part of it. All right. All right, that is the sounder, of course, for Remember the Legends. And this one goes out to Errol. Errol is from Pueblo, Colorado. He knows who he is. Thanks to him, he wanted this person added onto. Again, you can't write the history of America and history of the world without this person I'm going to talk about. But anyway, Errol from Pueblo, thank you very much for giving me the thoughts and process and putting this together for Huey P. Newton. All right. Again, he wanted this out there. And again, with every episode and ideas and all the things out there, you have the opportunity to voice your opinion, either through coming on the conversation part of doing an episode with me, or I can sit there and take information from people as an idea or something and then create an episode. All right. So again, Errol, thank you again from Pueblo. Huey P. Newton, founder of the Black Panther Party, right? Okay. So basically, he was the founder along with Bobby Seale. They were both students at Merritt College in Oakland, California. Founded the Black Panther Party, or BPP. Newton and Seale were inspired by Malcolm X and other influences. The BPP adopted this Malcolm X slogan, "Freedom by any means necessary." They adopted the image of a Black Panther, the actual image of a Black Panther, the animal. Born February 17th, 1942, and died August 22nd, 1989, Huey Percy Newton was an African-American revolutionary and political activist. He was the founder of the BPP. Huey sadly, after decades of speaking out and standing for his beliefs, and this is another reason why it's important to put him on the podcast, right? The Arena of Ideas, because it's no matter how you stand or how you look at things, it's the perspective, the views, and it's important to know that people standing up for what they believe in and speaking. That's why he's made the legends list here. And Errol, again, from Pueblo, considering it to be very important, right? Standing up for his beliefs, was assassinated August 22nd, 1989. If you recall how many agents of change there have been that have had their lives ended by the process of the same way, such as, ready? JFK, Robert Kennedy Jr., his brother, President Lincoln, Martin Luther King, etc., have been killed over their beliefs and aspirations for whom they relate to. His title was considered an activist. To me, he was a man of ideas who put them in motion through action, right? Revolutionary Suicide, a autobiography written by him, portrays his major role in the American Black liberation movement. I'm glad Errol brought him forward to discuss, because again, what are the three principles of the podcast, right? It's the Roman thumbs up, thumbs down as approval and disapproval. The round table of the Knights of the Round Table, and a round table discussion format where people can have different ideas about the different topics, right? And then town hall. That's the opportunity where a narrator gives a topic of discussion, and then everybody stands up and raises your hand, stands up and talks about their view on whatever the topic of discussion is. So by all means, thank you, Errol, for coming up with that process. And again, it's Huey P. Newton, the founder of the Black Panther Party. That's that episode there. That's a part of it there. All right. So anyway, that's it. Again, if you're listening, please keep listening to the podcast. Be a part of this process. And, like I've told people, in 1 or 2 minutes, how many ideas go through your head? And this isn't just one idea, right? It's an arena of them. It's Arena of Ideas podcast. And I'm the host and creator of that podcast, Mike Kingston. This has been the 51st episode of this podcast, which is Bittersweet Reality and Regrets and Remorse. And anyway, basically that's what's happening here is, this has been a great experience and opportunity. Again, this is the 51st episode, 5-1. Again, 29 places. So let's go through some numbers. 51st episode. There's 29 places that I know of, that I physically know of, to listen. So however, and wherever you get a podcast, you can listen to this. And if you don't know, maybe someone else can steer you that way to help you start listening to my podcast. I appreciate all of you out there. Again, Tim and Savannah out there helped me with the process of pretty much kind of being this ex facto producers, kind of helped me with the process here and keeping me reeled in for everything that goes on. All right. And all of the things. So basically in closing, it's, until next time,